Regarded by many as a golden era of single-player games, the period between 2000 to 2009 harbors an immeasurable catalog of classics. In a time when single-player campaigns weren't shaped or undermined by their online counterparts, the games released during this decade exhibited innovativeness in terms of gameplay and story, and sometimes both, with the 15 featured here all standing the test of time. Grand Theft Auto 4. With the hype surrounding GTA 6 plus GTA the Trilogy's semi-recent release, GTA 4's foray through Liberty City's grimy suburbs has become an outcast. Granted, most of you have completed Nico Bellic's rise through LC's criminal underworld already, but take a moment to remember its surprisingly emotional story of Bellic desperately outrunning his past in pursuit of a better life for him and his family. If you'll allow us to describe it as such, it's arguably the most relatable narrative in GTA's canon. Mirror's Edge. We've waxed lyrical on how ahead of its time Mirror's Edge is before. Its blistering parkour, fluid and uninterrupted, elicits a sense of flow few games can rival. Its world design is what brings it all together, a textureless, bright, clean city. Its predominantly white palette, highlighted in bold primary colors, ensure when sprinting you're always certain which route to follow. Many titles attempted it before. Dying Light took a stab at it, but Mirror's Edge parkour is second to none. Half-Life 2. It's hard to fathom Half-Life 2 is 2 decades old, given its pervasive influence in the FPS zeitgeist, but Valve's seminal sequel raised the bar for what video games can accomplish, and still stands head and shoulders above many modern titles. Its gunplay is timeless, its physics-based puzzling still innovative, its narrative perfectly paced, its atmosphere just unparalleled. We can go on all day complimenting Half-Life 2, but the reality is, if you haven't played it before, it's an undeniable classic worth gutting through. Fallout 3. Bethesda's first Fallout game delivered a generational leap over its predecessor, transforming the series from isometric turn-based RPG to a widescreen first-person adventure, a rapturous FPS across an intricately detailed wasteland. Fallout 3 isn't without its flaws, however, its sluggish gunplay was upended by the game's assisted targeting system VATS, making the act of shooting specific body parts unendingly satisfying. Fallout 3 is regarded as the best in the series, and still worth a playthrough 16 years later. Super Mario Galaxy. With every new Mario game, Nintendo outdoes itself in creativity, and whilst each Mario adventure since Galaxy and Galaxy 2 brings something new to the table, none have exhibited inventiveness on the same scale as Mario's outings on the Wii. The first and best, Super Mario Galaxy never relents in fresh gameplay mechanics. Its 40 or so beautifully crafted micro-galaxies presenting opportunity to soar amongst the stars, surf atop manta rays, glide over chasms, and jump between gravity-defying platforms, with each level harboring unique physics. With Super Mario 3D All-Stars' removal from Nintendo's eShop, there's currently no way to play Galaxy on the Switch. It's a real shame, but Super Mario Galaxy is so good it's definitely worth plucking a Wii off of eBay. Far Cry 2. In 2008, Far Cry 2 had the confidence to deliver an open-world game replete with uncertainty. Sure, Far Cry 2 had bandits to wipe out and camps to clear, but your journey across war-torn Africa in search of a mysterious arms dealer, the Jackal, was made arduous by survival mechanics. Scavenge guns malfunction, disease was rife, bushfires inevitable. There's much more to contend with here than completing quests. Quests which, by the way, weren't dished out to you like a shopping list. Far Cry 2 is many a player's favorite for good reason. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Beginning on a literal cliffhanger, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves puts treasure hunter Nathan Drake in numerous near-death situations, each escapade delivered with Naughty Dog's typical cinematic aplomb. The outset's death-defying scale through a train wreck teetering on the brink of some Himalayan chasm would be the centerpiece in lesser games, but in Uncharted 2, the memorable set pieces come thick and fast and don't let up till the credits roll. The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Is Oblivion the best Elder Scrolls? Well, who knows. You could say its questlines are the most interesting of the entire series, whereas you might argue Oblivion's world is the least varied. Maybe its well-intentioned level scaling created problems for you if your major skills weren't combat focused. The question this feature asks though is this: is The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion worth playing in 2024? Well, the answer, unsurprisingly, is a resounding yes. Batman Arkham Asylum. There was a worry that Rocksteady's first attempt at a Batman game would fall foul of the usual movie tie-in pitfalls, but 10 minutes spent in Asylum's shadowy world put that worry to bed. Never had Batman been so perfectly portrayed in a video game. His physicality at assaulting bands of goons en masse was second only to his prowess at picking foes off one by one from the shadows. Whilst you could begin playing through Arkham's trilogy at its second entry, you absolutely mustn't. Batman Arkham Asylum is the favorite entry by many, and for good reason. Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. With young rookie Raiden surprisingly emerging as the main playable character in Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty, many players initially felt alienated, but once the credits rolled, it became clear that MGS2's misleading marketing played into the game's narrative elements perfectly. Moreover, the game's examination of fake news, artificial intelligence, and political conspiracy has grown more culturally relevant today than it was in 2001. So now, in 2024, as you're likely aware of Kojima's bait and switch, you can dive into Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty's tactical espionage action unflustered. Portal. Much like Half-Life 2, Valve delivered a revolutionary experience with its first-person puzzler Portal, and the highs it climbs have only been matched by its 2011 sequel. Deceptively simple in premise, the game's puzzles involving the portal gun grew increasingly complex, presenting an enveloping demand on your intelligence and reasoning skills. Feelings of genius were oftentimes tempered by AI companion GLaDOS's hilarious taunts as well. Gears of War. Released in 2006 at a time when the world was enraptured by first-person shooters, Gears of War brought strategic third-person cover shooting to the masses, and its brutal, weighty combat with surprisingly emotional narrative means the series' first entry is held up remarkably well. Sure, its nostalgia-tinted glasses might elevate the memory of Gears of War, and its sequels might have improved on the original exponentially, but to play a game which raised the bar for third-person shooting, you must play Gears of War. The Darkness. Yes, it has its shortcomings, but alluringly macabre, The Darkness oozes atmosphere enough to elevate this overlooked FPS to a cult classic. Principle behind its engaging gameplay is, alongside an arsenal of conventional weaponry, player character Jackie Estacado inherited demonic powers, allowing him to summon imp-like creatures, protrude violent tentacles and tendrils to impale foes, and create black holes to suck in victims. The Darkness is a hidden gem deserving of a wider audience. Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. Hands down one of the best gaming trilogies of all time, Max Payne 3's intense shooting and cinematic storytelling elevates it in the eyes of many to the best of the three. But alas, this feature doesn't include games released in 2012, so back to 2003 then, and Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne we go. As expected, Max Payne 2 delivered enhanced graphics over its predecessor, but whilst its story wasn't up to the standard of Max Payne's first outing, its gunplay, an essential element supported by masterful bullet time, was more refined, with Max's movements especially becoming much slicker. Play Max Payne 2. Actually, you know what? No, just play them all. They're all great.
Winterson would have found a way to do this nice, neat, and clean.
Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl. With Heart of Chernobyl's impending release, you might think the chance is gone to revisit its 2007 predecessor. Well, whether you dive in and rush through before Heart's released or played afterwards, Stalker: Shadow of Chernobyl is going to be worth it. See, it's all about the foreboding atmosphere, long periods of brutal isolation pierced by nasty gunfights. Shadow of Chernobyl's phantasmagorical zone is so dangerous you barely get any respite. Its combat and visuals have held up well too. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.